Welcome in. It is another episode here of Olympic Ice. Matt Merrifield rejoins me after having to work yesterday. Missed out. Matt, how are you doing today?
Absolutely phenomenal. Any day where I don't have to work a 13-hour shift consisting of handing out hand sanitizers to people as they go to a country concert and are severely disappointed by what they went in to see, and then they tell me what they were disappointed by is a good day. So I did get to see a little bit of the hockey on Thursday. Luckily, I got to see most of the U.S. game. I was able to, navigate myself to a TV while still working. But today was another good day of hockey. Wasn't quite the slate I was hoping for, especially with the 6 a.m. games being the best two games of the day. Um, but we roll with it, and Olympic hockey continues on, so I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, you said the best two games today were at 6 a.m. So I mean, you got to do what you got to do with that. Hey, this is what happens when it's in Italy. You're going to have weird puck drop times, even though they don't make sense. I think I talked about it yesterday. I think Sweden Finland probably should have been the 10:40 game as the dogs barking, and this is just fantastic. Matt, let's just get into it. Sweden, Finland. Finland gets the 4-1 victory. 35 shots for Sweden today, 24 for Finland. Um, Finland kind of controlled this game a little bit, a little shocked from what we saw against Slovakia, and Sweden did not look good at all.
Yeah, I think that's my bigger takeaway is Sweden. I was not up at 6 a.m. unfortunately after my day finished at 2 a.m. last night. And completely forgot that this was the 6 a.m. game. It just wasn't meant to be, but I did catch up on it afterwards during my downtime today. And Sweden scares me. Sweden looks like Sweden looks like the Americans, and the Americans looked like the new Americans yesterday. I know you obviously probably went into more detail about that, but and you would have thought Sweden would have came out with a little more urgency. It's Sweden Finland, the just as big of a rivalry of as America and Canada. You didn't play very well game one, and they come out and somehow play worse. And Gustafsson was still not very good. Ivy is clearly not happy with the performance of the Swedes this morning. But I just
Yeah, clearly.
that was probably my biggest takeaway. I was surprised that they went back with Gustafsson, or excuse me, Markstrom played Wednesday, did he not?
No, it was
It
Gustafsson.
was Gustafsson. Well, he probably shouldn't play. Was it Sunday? Their last game.
Sunday.
I would
No,
not
they
play
play
him.
tomorrow, I think, right? Yeah, they play
Oh, they
tomorrow.
do play tomorrow. Never mind. Well, I would not start. I would not start Gustafsson. I would start Markstrom or Wallstedt without hesitation. That Sweden needs to. Fortunately for Sweden, they're still moving on. They have. I mean, they could still finish second in the group. Hell, even if they play well enough, they can still maybe find a way to get the double or get the bye into the quarterfinals. I know it's still a little too early to figure out who that second team is or that fourth team is going to be. But Sweden, panic alarm is at like a 9. FraudCon 1 potential alert for the Swedes. And losing to the Finns isn't a problem, but you've now backed it up back-to-back performances where you do not look good, especially for a team that we said is the second best roster on paper coming in.
Yeah, I mean, we had the Italy game on Wednesday. Yes, they won, but they did not look good. They did not look good at all. I know the score said 5-2. That was very not true of what we saw. And it was kind of the opposite with Finland. The score line was what, 4-1 against Slovakia, with Slovakia winning, and Finland kind of controlled that game, and Slovakia just capitalized on those mistakes. And it was kind of the opposite today, except Finland controlled this game and made sure that their things were figured out. We do, I think you would agree, have to shout out UC Saros. That was a great performance today. We kind of ragged on him coming into the tournament, and then after the game on Wednesday, he very much was a reason why Finland won this game, especially in that third period.
Yeah, 100%. And that was the big key for Finland coming into the tournament was Saros going to be able to play well enough between the pipes. He plays like that, they're going to be playing for a medal without question. That was a very strong performance. And yeah, I guess we didn't really touch on it a whole ton, but this is a team trying to do what they can and trying to find a way to medal without their best, arguably their best player in Sasha Barkov, probably second best player behind Ratton. And not having him as a centerman is huge. And they still have enough talent, I think, especially to win games, only allowing one goal, especially when Saros is going to play as well as he did. Um, they didn't play terrible against Slovakia. There were just, I think, more so it was just the issues that we saw coming in. The defensemen, the defense core was probably the biggest issue, and they did not play very well against Slovakia. They played better today, and I mean, the Finns are kind of still right in the middle. I still think they're dangerous enough. And obviously, they still have one final game. They get tomorrow off. They play Sunday. So can they take down the Italians? Probably, and they're gonna be looking good to get themselves a double bye. So that's probably the biggest thing is just finding a way to win today and give themselves the best shot possible.
Matt, they don't have a day off. They play tomorrow.
Oh wow, never mind. This is bad. I can't read. I just completely glossed over their name on the show sheet. That is completely on me.
Hey, it is what it is. Finland, big win today. It's going to throw things into a mess if Sweden win tomorrow when they play Slovakia, which will transition into that now. They hold off Italy 3-2. It should have been much farther than it was, and Italy stayed in this game.
Yeah, I mean, once again, Damian Clara is probably the best. He might be, not he might be, he is the best Anaheim goaltender in the Olympics right now. I'm not a huge fan of Dostal, to be honest, and he didn't play very well yesterday. Obviously, it was the Canadian national team coming against him, but still, Clara has been tremendous. And I mean, as we talked about on Wednesday, just the effort that that Italian team's going to come out with on their home ice, and they're going to play with pride. They played well once again today to keep it competitive. Obviously, they're playing a very conservative style of hockey to try and not get killed in these games, and it's working, especially when Klar is playing as well as he did. They can make things interesting against Finland, I think, but Slovakia, another good performance once again, and are they ready for the Swedes? I mean, you have to imagine the Swedes are going to bring their best 60 minutes that they've brought in a long time. Now, will they be able to get themselves off the mat? I don't know. They didn't look great in the last 5 times we've seen them now in the last 365 days. They have not looked good. They've been the least impressive of the teams that we saw at Four Nations coming, and then also carrying into this so far this week. So will they come out and play well? I don't really know. Slovakia is a good team, and they've looked strong. And I don't know. Once again, the Swedes are not don't inspire me a whole lot. But Slovakia's got themselves an opportunity to get themselves a bye into the quarterfinals. I was not expecting this, to say the least, but they still have to take care of business tomorrow afternoon.
Yep, that's going to be one of the big things there. I didn't love that the Italians stayed in this game from what we saw from game one with the Slovakians. They should have controlled this game. They kind of let Italy hang around. They made it close. I believe it was with about 4 minutes left. They made it 3-2. It doesn't matter in the end. Slovakia got the win. I was just surprised by the fact that it was this close.
Yeah, and I think that's the way the Italians are trying to play in this tournament. Is to maybe not necessarily win, just don't get killed. And so when that kind of happens, the shot totals are going to be slanted, and yet the score is going to be a lot closer than it is when Clara plays as well as he has these last 2 games. So I wouldn't read too much into it. Maybe a slight concern that the Slovaks couldn't put the puck in the back of the net more than 3 times, but I'm not reading into it too much just based on what we've seen so far in this tournament. That the only team that's been able to truly separate themselves in terms of that talent gap is the Canadians. I guess the Americans did a little bit yesterday against the Latvians, or on Thursday, excuse me, but still, I am not ready to panic about the Slovaks in that close game they had with the Italians.
Let's move on. Third game of the day. Czechia gets a much-needed win against France, a 6-3 final. This game was much more scarier in the second period when it was France scoring 3 unanswered in about a 5-minute span to make it 3-2 France, and then Czechia just shut it down, scored 4 straight, and pulled off the victory in this one.
Yeah, I guess it was good to see that Czechia could put it together for 20 minutes there in the third period, but that was scary indeed for the Czechs to watch them go out, and I could not tell you what happened in that second period. Um, I mean, considering the fact France only had 12 shots on goal the entire game, Czechia did control the game, but 3 unanswered, that's unacceptable. Still not even quite sure how that happened. So from that standpoint, good on the French to come out and show a little bit of life. I didn't see a single second or a single highlight of the game against the Swiss from Thursday. I have no idea what that game looked like. So, but
Bad.
I assume it looked bad. I thought Switzerland looked fine today. I know we're about to get them in a second. But man, Czechia, not inspired by the 2 performances they put together. They're, if we want to do a panic meter, a confidence meter in all 12 teams so far, them and Sweden are fighting for last place through 2 games of hockey.
I completely agree with that. We said they were 2 of the best, I think, 4 or 5 rosters that we have here at the Olympics. Both of them massive panic right now, I think. I know everybody advances because this is what the Olympics are doing, but it's time to panic if you're those 2, because the games don't get easier from here. You have played your 2 easiest competitions in your group, and you've struggled with both of them. I know, like we said, Czechia figured it out in the third period, but they struggled mightily in the first 2. That's kind of worrying, but again, as long as you figure it out in the play-out round, you still have a chance for goal, and that's the biggest thing. Overall, though, it's going to be a massive, important game on Sunday for them in Switzerland. We'll get into Switzerland in a minute, but that's going to determine seeding for the group. And if you're the Czechs, you want to find yourself as far away as competition as possible. So you're going to want to be probably one of the higher seeds playing in that playout round, because I'm assuming they're not going to make the quarterfinal, the bye. So you want to play a team like France or Italy in that playoff round.
Yeah, 100%. And I would have to assume, you'd probably know better than I would, that it's goal differential. That is the determining factor of the second seed. Obviously, you have to be 2-1, I would assume, and then
I think I do have the tiebreakers pulled up. It's number of points, obviously, and then if you're tied head to head, and then if it's 3 or 4 teams that are tied on points, then it goes to goal differential. So head to head is first.
But okay. So it's goal differential, because head to head, unless it's within your division, what I have to imagine, if it's a Group A or Group B situation.
Yes, French. It is goal differential then. I thought you were just talking about the group.
So Czechia losing 5-0 yesterday does not give them a whole lot of wiggle room. Then again, the Swiss lost by 4 today. I don't think either team has a very good shot. I'd have to imagine right now the team sitting prettiest at the moment is probably the Germans. But obviously, Group C has only played once to this point, and tomorrow is kind of the determining factor day. But if Germany can go out and beat Latvia tomorrow, then Sunday is which team wins the group and which team gets the bye, truly. But I guess we have to sit and wait and see.
Let's move on. Our final game of the day. Special is what this team is, and it's gonna suck when this team somehow doesn't win gold. Canada 5, Switzerland 1. Matt, I have 2 words for you. Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, Macklin Celebrini, must-see TV.
Oh, 100%. And you, when you texted me about when they scored their first goal, I had just turned the game back on right before they scored, and I saw them on the ice together. I was like, "Hey, that's not their line." And then they scored, and then Anson Carter proceeds to explain about how John Cooper had shuffled up the lines at the end of the first period. Who would have thought putting the best power forward, the best overall player, and the best player under the age of 20 on the ice at the same time together was probably going to work out pretty well. And oh, by the way, Canada's got enough talent everywhere else that they can still be functional up and down the lineup, but they can put the best line. I don't want to say ever, but like, have we ever had three forwards better at a single moment in time? And it just in general about this Canadian team. I had to explain to my father this afternoon when the opening power play for Canada, 20 seconds before they scored, he asked who's because he was in the other room. He wasn't actually watching. He's like, who is on the unit? And it was Reinhart, McCarr, McDavid, Crosby, and McKinnon. And I said, that's the greatest power play ever. And he goes, no, it's not. And I go, yes, it is. We have never had.
Is he pulling up the 1986 Canada or 88? Sorry, not 66. With Gretzky, Lemieux, and like three other people.
I would have to look. I think he heard the name Sam Reinhart and immediately was no. And I was like, I don't know. The other four carry it pretty hard. And Reinhart's won back-to-back cups and scored, 50 goals last year? Like, that's as a fifth player on the power play, you're not going to find a better power play unit at a singular moment in time at that point in their careers. But anyways, I know it's not prime Crosby, but Sidney Crosby at, what is he, 38, 37 years old, is still a pretty damn good hockey player, if I don't say so myself. So Canada's so good. They are not playing the same sport as Switzerland, and especially God help the French. Truly, I mean,
it may get bad on Sunday.
I mean, it's gonna look like it's gonna look like France is gonna feel like it's 1940 again. I'm not even kidding. Like, they're gonna get steamrolled, dude. Explain to me they're going to lay down and they're just gonna have to wave the white flag. That's they should put that up on the ticker, like the white flag, truly, instead of the French flag. They're gonna get killed.
I mean, I'm not arguing with you.
What? I don't know. I have nothing. Like, this is truly the one time where the talent gap is so severe. It does not matter how conservative the French play. I don't think they have the Canadian B team could beat them 6-0. So they're just playing a different sport. Sure, when they play the Finns, I think when they play the Finns and when they play the Americans and the Swedes, I think those are the only three games. Those are the three teams that are going to be able to make it competitive and could beat them in most nights. But as we saw with Czechia, they just don't have it. They don't have the goaltending to keep them in it, and don't have the horses up and down the lineup, unfortunately. So they're fun to watch, truly. And I just hope when we get to the quarters and on, they play good enough teams to make it watchable hockey. As much as I just enjoy watching them play, I would like a semi-competitive hockey game, because that also means the team they're playing is playing well, and it's just overall more entertaining to watch them pump the Swiss or the Czechs or Italy or France 8-0. Truly.
You brought it up, so I have to ask the question.
Oh boy,
Who
I brought up
starts?
a lot. Oh, tomorrow? It doesn't.
No, I'm
cares?
just talking the rest of the tournament.
Oh, Binnington starts. He played. Like, the Swiss are good. Truly, I mean, I didn't watch any of the game, their first game, but like, they have a solid enough lineup. They looked fine today. It's hard to gauge when they're playing just a team that is far and away better than them, and they looked better than the Czechs. They looked more competitive than the Czechs. They put more put together than the Czechs. So from that standpoint, but truly for tomorrow, you could put Nathan McKinnon between the pipes. It doesn't matter. Truly, that might make it more fair. Going forward, still Binnington's net. It's his until he loses it, and I think John Cooper sees that too. As I don't remember if it was you that sent me the clip or if it was Eddie Olczyk that said it on the broadcast. Like, John Cooper decided who was starting that game yesterday against the Czechs 358 days ago, or however long ago 4 Nations was. So it's his net, and honestly, at this point, it is until they're done. So.
I would have to agree with you there. You just got to ride him until either you win gold or you lose, and then you talk about it for 4 years. If you lose and how terrible of a decision it was to ride with him, or you see him out and he has, the greatest tournament of all time. Should mention, I don't know if you saw it, Matt. I know I texted you about it. The Kevin Fiala injury at the end of this game, he gets stretchered off the ice on his stomach. Like they didn't even roll him over. He is officially out the rest of the tournament. That is not really a shock. They don't. It doesn't even say upper or lower body injury. It's lower body. Him and Tom Wilson got tangled up, and Wilson kind of landed on his leg. Not going to speculate on injury, but it's not good. Can tell you that. So he is out for the rest of this tournament. That's obviously going to be a massive loss for Switzerland, but with the way their tournament's looking, they probably only have 2 games left.
Yeah, and unless they get, even without Fiala, I think they could be competitive depending on what draws they specifically get. Maybe they sneak into the quarters. I know the fear is, and as if you look up Kevin Fiala, all the headlines are about how 2030 that to get the players won't be allowed back. I think that's a bit of an overreach. With all due respect to Kevin Fiala, he's not Connor McDavid or Matt Glass celebrating splitting his leg in half. So I don't think that this is going to be the one that forces Gary Bettman's hand to say, no, you guys can't go, or the NHLPA steps in. And also, from the Players Association part of it, they want to be here. Like, they were the ones fighting for it. It's the owners that don't want them going. And I don't... yeah, it's a big loss for LA if he's out an extended period of time, but I think that's just an initial reaction. Like, obviously, somebody was going to get hurt, guys. And it's obviously unfortunate. I hope Fiala has a speedy recovery, but I don't read into this any further than I don't think this is stopping them from going to Nice in 4 years.
And part of it was in the CBA that they are going to the Olympics 26 and 2030. So how much can you move around with that? I'm sure the owners are trying to figure out right now. But again.
So I guess it is part of the CBA, but like in Major League Baseball, with the World Baseball Classic coming up, do the players get insurance, or do the teams get insurance on their contracts? I'm just curious. I don't know because I honestly hadn't even heard of that for baseball until this time around, because we're seeing like players like Jose Altuve isn't playing in the World Baseball Classic this year because the team won't approve it.
I'm not 100% sure.
I have to know what the coverage was for a team if Kevin Fiala can't play the rest of the year. Now they're SOL cap wise. I know they can put him on LTIR and they can, but that's no longer a thing, if I'm not mistaken. We fixed
it. But it isn't.
Wonderful. It's a great answer. Just what I'm looking for. Anyways, so that was just a question, just in general. I didn't know if you would know off the top of your head, but anyways, so.
I just say let's move into previewing tomorrow. We've kind of already alluded to some of them. First one, it's another 6 a.m. puck, or 6:10 puck drop. Sorry. It is Sweden, Slovakia. Like I said, we kind of already alluded to this game. I believe that if this game decides who finishes top of the group, I should mention, I completely forgot it. Canada did clinch top of Group A. Real shocker there. But back to Sweden, Slovakia. Your thoughts on tomorrow's game?
Obviously, like you just mentioned, just in terms of seeding, how this one plays out, it just comes down to, does Sweden want to be here? Because they haven't looked like it the first 2 days. They are playing, they're floating, they don't have an edge to them, and which is surprising because of how pretty much everybody else has come out and has, I guess, other than Czechia. They're playing hard. It's the atmosphere of playoff hockey, and all the adjectives and superlatives you can use to describe the way the teams have come out and the excitement that's been around, the opportunity to play best on best. So for the Swedes, it just comes down to, do you want to be there? I don't know. At this point, I don't know. After 2 games, you would have thought today would have been the wake-up call. But I guess because they beat the Italians. Maybe losing is always the best medicine. So I'm going to take Sweden to bounce back and win this game. I think it's going to be a dogfight, though. I'm going to go 3-2. I think it's going to be tight. And I think the Slovaks give them a hell of a game because they know what's on the line.
I'm going to agree with you that this feels like a bounce back game. We saw what happened to Finland. They lost to Slovakia, came out a day and a half later, beat Sweden. I think it kind of happened, same thing with Sweden. The Slovaks didn't look convincing today against the Italians. I like Sweden to win this game, bounce back, try to get good seeding for the playout, and figure it out from there. I'll go 4-2. Let's move on. There's another 6:10 puck drop tomorrow. I know you're dying to wake up for this one, Matt. It is Latvia and Germany.
Unironically, I may wake up for this. I want to see the Germans. I didn't get to see them at all yesterday. Yesterday. And also, I mean, you might as well wake up and watch both games because, Slovakia, Sweden does have an edge to it. Why these games are stuck at 6 a.m., I don't know. Why are we subjecting? And I get it. There's more than just America watching these games. But 10:40 is still the middle of the day everywhere in the world, or at least everywhere in the hockey watching world. So why? I'm at a loss. I don't know. But anyways, so Latvia, Germany. I'm curious to see if Germany's biggest thing yesterday was their stars played well, and that's they did what on paper they're supposed to do. Their depth just kept them in the game, played solid hockey, and their stars capitalized. They do that, they're going to have a pretty good tournament. Latvia, Merzlikins played tremendous, but can he keep them in another game? I don't think so. I'm going to go. This one will be a close one. I'll go 3-1 Germany in this game. They're just going to continue to roll. They have the talent to carry them through once more.
I did like what I saw from the Germans yesterday. I thought they looked really well. I get it was Denmark. I get it was Freddie Anderson in that doesn't really scream confidence. But the Latvians did put up a fight for the first half of the game against the U.S., and then it kind of all fell apart. And then the U.S. looked like the Harlem Globetrotters on ice for the second half of that game. I kind of want to see Germany find another level because they were at some points just coasting through against Denmark, and I get it, it's Denmark. And this probably isn't the game to find it either, given that it's Latvia. But you got to wonder if they're in a look-ahead spot because they have the U.S. the next day. That would be my biggest worry. Let down spot. You're looking ahead to a game that's going to probably determine first place in this group. I would assume. Could be a letdown spot. That worries me. I still think Germany get a win here.
I would agree. I would agree. I think of the potential upsets tomorrow, I don't think. We'll get into it of the final two games, but of the early games, I truly think Sweden's going to bounce back, and I think I would have to agree Latvia is in a spot where they could easily be looking ahead and have the letdown. That would obviously ruin what would be a big time game on Sunday, which would be unfortunate just from a viewing experience. But let's get into the final two games.
I do have as we get into this next game. How do you feel that this final game for Group B, the Italy-Finland game, is at a different time than the other game in this group? Because this is a 10:40 puck drop. Usually, I'm thinking like World Cup, when you get to the final game of group stage, you play at the same time. How are you feeling about this game and the fact that they aren't being played at the same time?
I agree, just from the standpoint of it, in my opinion, it is BS that Finland can go in, and at the moment, Slovakia is top of the group at 2-0, and more importantly, they're +4 in goal differential. So from the standpoint of the Finns know going into that game, how badly do we need to pump the Italians to put ourselves in a decent spot? Now, unfortunately for the Finns, and fortunately for a situation like the Americans tomorrow or on Sunday, you know what the other results are going to be in terms of goal differential. So the United States would have the last laugh in terms of being able to put up as many goals as possible to save second place, or vice versa. The Germans know we can't lose by more than 2. So I don't love it, especially just from the intergroup side of things. But it's the IIHF. Some of the things they do don't make sense. They're not terrible in terms of international sporting agencies, but they still leave a lot to be desired. And this is one of those shortcomings.
Overall, what are you kind of thinking on this game? You think Finland kind of rolls here?
I think so. I think the question is, honestly, I think this one's going to be closer than we expect because, I think most people are going to be expecting Italy to keep it relatively close based on what they've shown. I think it might even be tougher. I'm going to go. I think they go 2-1. I think the only thing that comes down to is can Clara play well enough. If he can keep them in it for a third game, then they'll be fine. At some point, he's going to drop a stinker and root to Italy. I hope it's tomorrow because then he can show up in the knockouts, Dave, and get somebody a scare. But I'll go 2-1. I think he plays well. And as we've talked about, the Finns' goal scoring ability is really hit or miss. And in a game where there's going to be a team that plays more defense than they do and is more conservative than they are. So I expect a really low scoring game tomorrow afternoon.
It's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out because the Italians have put up fights in both of their games. My biggest thing is we saw Clara play sometime today. I'm assuming they're going back to him tomorrow. How much does that rest that he doesn't have play into this? Is tomorrow the day gets lit up? Maybe. I'm not sure. I still think the Finns win. I won't say easily because we've said that about both Italian games and they've kept it close. I'll take 3-1. Let's get into the last game. USA Denmark. Matt, you didn't get an opportunity yesterday just to say what you want about the US, so I guess use this as your opportunity because they're going to beat Denmark.
Yes, they are going to beat Denmark. Freddie Anderson may show us all wrong and make it a game, but I don't think so. I think the United States take care of business, get to 2-0, because once again, what they did on Thursday is, kind of what I expected. Like, this team is not going to have they're not going to play like Sweden. They're not going to come out and coast. This is a team that's hungry, obviously. I in my opinion, obviously I've gotten upset multiple times on this show and other shows on this network about this team showing up and just wanting to beat the Canadians. I think that's more of a NBC USA Hockey narrative more so than it is about the actual team itself. I do think that this team wants to win a gold medal, and everybody played pretty well yesterday other than JT Miller. Leave his ass literally anywhere. Shoot him over the border and leave him in Switzerland. I do something. Let him play for this. Let him play for Kevin Fiala. I don't care. I don't want him on my hockey team. Why Clayton Keller was a scratch, I don't know. Why Jack Hughes was considered to be a scratch, because he might have been the best player on the ice yesterday. That goal, I think it was the first one they set up. It wasn't their first overall goal, but I believe it was Nelson's first goal. Like, the lead up and the build up to that goal was
his second.
That was his second. That was chef's kiss. I saw you sent me the tweet. I think I've watched it 100 times. Like, that might be the most beautiful goal in the history of United States hockey.
And honestly, just hockey, period.
And Jack Hughes was in control the entire night, but I'm getting blown up, and I'm watching replays of JT Miller just coasting into the crease and skating off sides and being a terrorist and not providing anything. Also, why was Vincent Trocheck in the lineup either? I understand the New York Rangers have their hand in building this roster just because their executives are part of the roster building process of USA Hockey for this Olympic team. Why? The Rangers stink. Right, they haven't been good in 10 years. Like, they haven't been competitively good. I think once in the last 10 years they've had a decent team since Lundqvist retired. Like, 3 years ago they were okay when they traded for Panarin and brought in Kane. Just sickening. That's and Brock Nelson, I know I gave him a little bit of hate. He should be there. He should be the fourth line center. I defended him when he made the team last year. Obviously, his family is his father and his grandfather both won gold medals, the only 2 gold medals in American history. So they should probably, you know what, maybe he's the magic token. But I, I just JT Miller does absolutely nothing. Truly, Hellebuck was fine from what I saw. I still think Ottinger should be the goalie, but he didn't even dress yesterday. It was Swayman that was the backup, right?
That is incorrect. That is correct.
I'm hitting 1,000 this week when it comes to goaltending decisions. I mean,
We're doing so well.
To be fair, and this is something I've just picked up over the years of there's a difference between I played the position and then most coaches don't play the position, and the just overlap of agreement on how to handle goaltending could not be more different between people that played the position and people that didn't. It's amazing. Handling goaltenders is a wild. It's not easy, but it's just wild to see the difference into how different coaches handle it and which ones played the position and didn't. And that doesn't mean that Sullivan was wrong, because it didn't really matter yesterday, and it may not matter all the way up until the very end until they play the Canadiens. But it's just like, I promise you, Ottinger's better.
I don't
I
disagree.
promise you, Vejmelka's better. And honestly, he should start for the Czechs. Jordan Binnington's the only one we got right. But then again, John Cooper's a Hall of Famer. I don't know if there's a Hall of Fame coach in the rest of the Olympics. Is Sullivan a Hall of Famer? I mean, he won 2 cups, right?
Back to back. Got a runners-up medal at 4 Nations.
Yeah, well, John Cooper doesn't have a Coach of the Year award, which I found out today, which is insane. And
That is indeed true.
He is a Hall of Famer, respectfully, especially when he inevitably wins a gold medal or silver. But point being, Americans look good. I'm excited by what I saw. That inspired me, and I didn't. At no point did I have to yell, "Who are we playing?" Hopefully, I don't have to do it tomorrow against the Danes. If I have to do it against the Danes, we got a big problem. So, USA, baby.
USA big tomorrow. Let's wrap it up there.
Yeah.
What a show. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll recap it all. Final game of group stage action on Sunday. And then the tournament's already half over. We feel like we just started and we're already here. So thank you so much for watching. Matt, thank you so much for coming tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you. We will see you tomorrow night.